Hell there. 4 short films in 8 weeks in the first term of the first year. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But we did it. So the first film I worked on was called Unexpected After Dinner. It's a chill story about the guy's daily routine, cleaning up, chatting on the phone, doing the dishes, slice of life. At least, until the twist ending. There's a bloodied corpse in his bed. Following a brief, it was designed to center around visual language. I was a director and writer for this project, and unexpectedly, color grader. So regarding research, despite plenty of prior experience making videos, I was used to working solo, so to adapt the idea of directing 4 other crew members, my main preparation involved watching YouTube videos from budget filmmakers, namely DSLR Guide, targeted at first-timers. Being a fan of the cinematic indie-style game Life is Strange, I was determined to make my first film similar, visually as well as tonally. Other sources included the films Juno and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I melded this with Grover's idea of a horror in disguise, and that ultimately shaped into after. Through these, I learned how to tell a more effective story, as well as how to be a better director on shooting day. So, on October 17th, we started shooting. Our producer Belle let us film the house, giving us the freedom to decorate and take advantage of it as much as we wanted. I smoothly adapted the script to fit the location, and it led to itself to us well during shooting. The actor our producer got, Sam, was professional and easy to work with, following directions well. The fact that I'd worked with Bella before helped a lot when we ended up shooting past midnight. We obeyed the risk assessment as made by DP Grover regarding health and safety, and so our producer Bella handled broken glass just with thick gloves. Of course, I can't say the shooting day went smoothly. As I said, there were delays. We hoped to start shooting at 4 PM, but ended up shooting at 7 instead. This is because our producer Bella also promised to have the location and props set up for us on arrival, but it turned out nothing had been done. For us, we ended up using an extra hour to make up for that. Instead of 4 PM, we ended up shooting at 7. And so we didn't wrap at 11 as planned, but at 2 in the morning. Due to a pre-booked holiday, our editor Grover only had 1 day to work on and finish the edit when she came back, with no sleep in between. Hence, I offered to step in with the color grading and finish the product using DaVinci Resolve. I gave the film a nice blue tint, as you can see here, to add that relaxed night atmosphere. Now, given another chance, I mainly would have been stricter on the producer to get her tasks done in time. Regardless, our final work translated well from our original intentions. The visual language was particularly intact. In one example, as you can see here, we were in a close-up and an especially intimate position with the protagonist. This contrasts with his prior welcome nature, the blue contrasting with the original gold hues, serving to emphasize the creepiness of the situation. The next film project I worked on was called The Promise. It was a highly visual-based film. In it, a mysterious male entices a woman into joining their dark cult. Following the brief, it placed very heavy emphasis on mise-en-scène. I primarily served as producer, while also doubling as sound mixer on set. When discussing with our director Theodore and the rest of the team, it became clear that we wanted to make a cult film, but one with a more unconventional lighting-focused style. Our primary inspiration was Neon Demon, with some elements from It Follows, as well as a few others. To prepare for the role, I read articles on being a micro-budget producer from IndieWire and Mentalist, so that I could keep this mentality in mind. Also, having realized that sound was a weak point, I practiced proper techniques on how to operate sound equipment, hold and operate a boom pole, use a Tascam, as well as keeping audio levels between -12 and -10. And so the shooting day arrived. As producer, the actress I got from the Star Now casting call, as seen here, was patient and fantastic, helpful on both days. And as sound mixer, the sound I got was clear and useful during editing, as seen during this edit right here. Took plenty of Foley as well. Our biggest health and safety risks had to do with shooting in a factory. As a responsible person, I made sure that casting crew were aware beforehand about the dangerous objects inside, namely the heavy anvil and the chain hook. I took it at that well. Regarding what didn't go well, the budget ballooned due to multiple unexpected occurrences. Our factory location, as wonderful as it was something we thought we got for free. However, we were charged £50 the previous day, which immediately took us over budget. That, along with the Ubers, due to the difficulty of reaching location, meant our budget was 3 times of what it was originally. Now next time, I definitely ought to have better communication with location owners, as well as have more consideration about transport. As a whole, cost is a big priority I need to keep in mind for future producer roles. After that, I worked on the film Broken Memories. It was a film based on emotion and reflection. In it, a woman is trying to escape the past. Following the brief, sound was our priority. Being unable to use dialogue forced us to be creative in other ways. I was assistant director along with writer of the script. While writing, I drew heavily from experimental short films I'd previously seen, particularly the French La Grande Ours. In the book, the Wes Anderson collection, director Wes Anderson is quoted saying, "Everyone, sooner or later, gets through a thorough schooling in brokenness." And I wanted to portray that in film, particularly, regarding the theme. When shooting arrived, things were off to a good start. Again, the actresses we got were both very enthusiastic, patient even when the weather turned bad. The location was also fantastic. Alas, because it was an outside shoot, weather delayed our production. As the health and safety risk assessment predicted, we were ready to cover the equipment with covers as we brought them to safety during minor downpours. And when we did finally start shooting, our director wanted to shoot plenty of things that weren't in the shot list, despite my constant reminders. As a result, we only had half of what we needed at the end of the day. There was also plenty of poor communication between the team, which ultimately led to a film that couldn't be finished in time for the screening. Given another chance, I probably would have been a lot more strict on our director as AD to get things done and to communicate with the rest of us, both during the shooting process and during the editing process. Nevertheless, film language carried through. Using the program Filmstro, I provided the editor music that obeyed audio language, rising and falling with tune of the story, adding to it essentially. The final project I worked on was a 1-minute short called Inverted World. Set in the 1990s, it depicts a girl who escapes from bland reality through a Game Boy Color. Following the brief, this was a highly VFX-based project. I came up with the original concept for the film, being director. However, when I heard about Michael's bad experiences with his previous team, I decided to let him take over as director. I assumed the role as producer and graphic instead. Now, the films that inspired me during the original concept were Pixel and Scott Pilgrim Vs. the World, in which the 8-bit, highly stylized vibe resonated with me really well. Thankfully, Michael and the others kept this idea, taking it to the next level. As producer, I secured a friend's room as well as the best actress we could possibly have in Chow, who was super enthusiastic about the whole idea. Health and safety wise, the main concern was lighting. After all, we were using a lot in close proximity to one another in a tiny room, and had to be minded of overheating. Worst case scenario, it could even be a fire hazard. Hence, as ever, I would regularly switch them off when not in use, responding to command sparking to turn them on. Overall, production went smoothly. Although, regarding what didn't go well, it wasn't until afterwards I realized I made a critical error as producer. Now, when I checked after the shoot, I found that I'd actually broke that equipment until before the shoot had ended. Now, this was an error I have to pay the consequences for, quite literally. Next time, I have to be especially careful to double check booking time, as well as timings and schedules in general. That's all for now. Apologies for the rush. It seems like I only have 15 minutes left to submit. In any case, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this fantastic video presentation of mine. Have a nice day.